What's up, Ragin Nation? How's it going? This is Alex here, and you're watching The Road to TF5. This is just Webster's. We're talking about Transformers 5. This is episode number 13. And before I begin, I just want to say thank you to everybody at the Ragin Nation. All your orders have been shipped out. If you ordered a VIP pass or a t-shirt or both, it's all been shipped out. As well as the prize giveaways. All the prizes have been shipped out to everybody who participated in the prize giveaway for the Renderform War Axe. Thank you very much. They're on the way. Alright, so once again, thank you to everybody at the Ragin Nation. I wouldn't be here making these videos without your support. Anyways, let's talk about Transformers 5 and what could possibly happen in Transformers 5. In the previous couple of episodes, we talked about some of the more, I guess, exciting aspects of what we like to anticipate for Transformers 5, such as which new Autobots are going to be there, what new locations are the battles going to take place in, and here's my favorite part about the Transformers films, or rather anticipating Transformers films, and that is who's the new big bad boss? Who are the new villains? Okay. This is very, very exciting because essentially the Autobot team typically remains the same unless, you know, it's Transformers Age of Extinction where they rebooted the whole cast. But essentially it's the same characters again and again with a couple of new additions. As for the villains, typically they change up the entire cast except for the leader. That would be Megatron, right? But a lot of them don't make it back for the next installment. So let's just go back in time and just talk about who have we seen so far, not in terms of all the characters, but just the main villains, okay? So, in Transformers, it was Megatron and Starscream. In Transformers Revenge of the Fallen, the main villains that were introduced were, of course, Megatron came back. There was the introduction of the Fallen and also Devastator. So, three main villains, okay? For Transformers Dark of the Moon, Megatron came back, but it didn't do a whole lot of anything. We had Sentinel Prime as the double crosser, alright? So he was essentially the big bad boss. And then we had Shockwave, okay? And Shockwave controlled the Driller. I think most people were really excited about Shockwave's comeback into the live-action franchise, but what he did was a bit of a letdown. We didn't even see him really transform, if at all. And then moving on to Transformers Age of Extinction, we had Galvatron, who was pretty much like a combination of Megatron and Motormaster. And then, of course, there was Lockdown. Okay, so there are your main villains in the last 4 films. So the big question is, who are we going to see in the 5th one? All right, well, I think it all comes down to where the movie and the film left off, and that was Optimus Prime flying off to outer space and looking for his masters, all right? Or not his masters. Why would I say masters? I meant creators, all right? Essentially the live-action representation of the Quintessons. So we don't really know what the creators are gonna look like. We don't even know if they're gonna be called the Quintessons. They might just be called the creators the whole time. But you know what? I don't think they're gonna bring in the whole creators Unicron thing. I think they're going to save that for the 6th film. I think they're going to be talked about. They're going to be teased in the 5th film. I don't think that Optimus Prime is actually going to encounter the creators. As a matter of fact, I think that when he goes to meet the creators, he finds out it was like a conspiracy, or he finds out that it was all a lie, or he finds out that you know, they're not where he thinks they are. There were just remnants of the creators, and the creators are off actually somewhere else, which they're going to discover in Transformers 6. And then later on, they're going to also find out that the creators are somewhere far, and they work for like the big bad Planet Eater or whatever, right? Which we all know is Unicron. I think that's all going to be talked about in Transformers 5, but we're going to see that revealed on Transformers 6. So who are we really going to see as a new main villain? Well, I personally think that we're going to see something along the lines of, here are the 2 choices, okay? And that is, I think we're going to start seeing Predacons, or at least a version of them, okay? I'm talking about, by Predacons, I'm talking about, of course, you know, the guys who form Predaking. I don't know if they're actually going to become Predaking, emerge into Predaking, but at least we're going to see Predacons, which means Decepticons that have beast mode alt modes. Beast alt modes, Okay, so that would be Tantrum, Rampage, Headstrong, Razor Claw, Dive Bomb, and of course they form into Predacon. We're probably not going to see Rampage because Rampage was in the form of a Constructicon. All right, but the fact is that I think that we're going to see Beast Decepticons, which they might as well call Predacons. Okay, and with the popularity of Transformers Prime Beast Hunters, as well as us seeing Beast type Decepticons in Transformers Robots in Disguise, I think it would be appropriate to bring in Predacons. Okay, the reason why I think Predacons are going to come into the mix is because, well, they've already introduced us Dinobots, which are, you know, these Autobot dinosaurs, which are essentially beasts. You know, maybe these Predacons exist on Earth today, or the Predacons came from their planet, their home planet, and they came into Earth with their Cybertronian beast modes. Okay, because we've seen it cars, we've seen military vehicles, we've seen construction vehicles. All right, you know, I don't think it's appropriate to bring in like nice cars and exotics and, you know, military vehicles. I do want to see, but you know, the fact is that they got to look for new material. Okay, so that's just one of the types of Decepticons that I think we're going to see. The other types of Decepticons that I think we're going to see is, of course, the Unicron minions. By that I mean, well, they already got Galvatron, so we're going to see Cyclonus, Scourge, and the Sweeps. Okay, I believe that we're going to see these. They're calling the Heralds of Unicron. Okay, so we got Galvatron, we're going to see Cyclonus, we're going to see Scourge, and the Sweeps. And if we're not going to see them, then we're going to see the Predacons. That's who I think we're going to see. Okay, and the Heralds of Unicron are, of course, these sci-fi looking alt modes. Okay, these are like alt modes that don't adhere to Earth alt modes. Okay, they're not cars, they're not jets, they're not planes, they're not boats, they're not ships. They're these science fiction alt modes, which are totally sci-fi looking. You know what I'm saying? Okay, that's who I think that we're gonna see as main villains. But who do I want to see? All right, I've already told you who I have predicted who's gonna appear in Transformers 5 as villains, as main villains. But who I'd like to see is the Seekers. I want to see a comeback for the Seekers. We've seen Starscream, but he doesn't really do a whole lot. And the way Michael Bay handles a lot of his Transformers, he doesn't do the characters justice, as in he doesn't really give them their abilities to shine in their alt modes. It doesn't really serve a purpose to even have an alt mode. Shockwave didn't even transform. Megatron barely transformed in the first 3 films. Sentinel Prime really had no real use for his alt mode. So I would like to see a comeback for the Seekers. And by Seekers, I mean 3 guys. I don't mean Starscream. I'm talking about Decepticon jets like Ramjet, Thrust, and Ramjet, Thrust, and Dirge. I'd like to see these guys as like Seekers, like the trios, okay, that are like 3 main villains, okay, and they act as one. All right, so they're a team. And that's who I'd like to see. I'd like to see them because we've already seen a lot of cars, and all they really do is drive into battle, and then they become their robot mode, and then we never see them turn into vehicles ever again. Which basically means that their alt mode serves no purpose. Okay, I mean, if we had Seekers as the main villains, then we'd have, you know, them fly into battle, become robots, and then fly out when they need to. You know what I'm saying? So that's who I'd like to see. But what I think we're going to see instead is either Predacons or the Heralds of Unicron. That's just a teaser for Unicron for the Transformers 6. Anyways, what do you guys think? Let me know in the comment section below who you'd want to see in Transformers 5 as the next main villain. Alright, so there you have it. That's all I gotta say. And as always, if you enjoyed this video, hit the like button, subscribe to the YouTube channel, like me on Facebook, The Ragin Nation. Also follow me on Twitter at Ragin Nation. My name is Alex. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time. Peace. Beijing, not Hong Kong, but they decided to detonate it in Hong Kong. Michael Bay just wanted the fight to take place in Hong Kong. He wanted to shoot in Hong Kong.